Ladies and gentlemen, Season 1, Episode 4, Challenge of the Brave. Yeah, here's a tournament arc. I don't mind this, actually. It's total garbage, and it's the worst episode I've ever seen, but yeah, it's not that bad. I think I'm stupid, because I never noticed before that actually what it says on her notes in the beginning is Cassandra is always finding adventure. That's what it actually said. I just completely missed it. Now, what do you want to bet I'm going to have gotten, in the past tense at this point, comments on the episode where I commented on that saying, "No, you dumbass! This is what it actually said. You're Hitler." So the Challenge of the Brave. This kingdom has plenty of these things, doesn't it? It also has fighters from all over. As I was typing, I wonder how far out this goes. The next thing it shows is a yawn. The next thing it does is it talks about some of the things. We've got Cassandra doing laundry, and then adventuring, and then sewing up a dress, and then triple shotting with the bow. And yeah, okay. And then there's someone, and she's out in her dress, and there's a thief, and she's like, "I've got this." But then the guard says, "Nah, we've got this." Okay. And then there's this really awful part where she does this really cool thing, and the kids are like, "Whoa! It's Princess Rapunzel." Of course, she really wants to get involved in this whole big fighting thing, but you need an invitation to be able to sign up. So she can't sign up. And you get the vibe already. Like, you can immediately tell where this episode is going to go. But then they mentioned that this is a competition amongst the 7 kingdoms. Okay. I want to just sit here and talk about the concept of the 7 kingdoms for like the next half hour. Now, I'm not going to. I'm going to restrain myself here. I'm going to pull back and not actually do that. But it was the line of dialogue that caught my attention the most in the entire episode, which is probably pathetic and says a lot about how stupid and dumb that I am. But it does make me wonder, is this one of the reasons that they actually have this kind of a relative peaceful interaction with the nearby kingdoms? Also, 7 kingdoms? Like, oh, I didn't actually know about that, Lord Aramont, my bad. What that means to me is that there's 7... Kingdom is the wrong word, really. There's 7 holds nearby. Like, don't mistake me, Corona's nice and all, but I wouldn't call this place a kingdom. This is one well-defended city, and probably a few nearby villages that owe fealty to it, and that's probably it. You know, there's just, it feels local, is what I'm trying to get at. In fact, given the implications, most of these people probably got here either via horseback or from just walking, which means they're probably relatively nearby, which makes sense. Again, I'm not actually dinging it. I'm actually, the only thing I'm digging here is the word kingdom. If it said the 7 city-states or the 7 whatever, it's like that would be the kind of thing that would actually work a little bit better for me. In fact, you probably haven't even noticed. I went out of my way to make it a point in RFF2 that only one of the various polities on the peninsula was actually considered a kingdom. All of the rest were either city-states or townships or some other word that was more appropriate. It was a very, very minor name, of course, the minor thing, but I bothered to put that accuracy there because nothing that was on the peninsula was something that I would consider to be the size of a kingdom, and I didn't want any of the readers or watchers to be looking at that and thinking that I was just not thinking about it, because I like those kind of details in fiction. So I look at this like, sorry, I said I wouldn't go down this rabbit hole. I do like the showcasing of the arena. Much better crowd than back in the Gopher episode. Actually showcases a lot of people here and a lot of excitement, and that makes sense because not only is this probably a little bit more investure than just something like catching a gopher as part of just this one kingdom's thing, but this is violence across 7 kingdoms, so okay, I understand the crowd. They also do some good animation with the crowd, too, little tidbits. They're all one, they have no moving parts, any of the crowd people, but they all also can be animated, and they do some good stuff with that. We'll see B-Beard. Best character. So, Eugene, stop being a dick. Please? Eugene, come here. Shh, come here. Alright. I want you to actually engage the part of your brain that isn't a sociopath. Okay, could you do that for me? Could you not flaunt how great you are as you're being removed for being a disturbance with a total lack of self-awareness combined with smug assholery? Can you do that for me, please? Please? Okay. Cut back to Cassandra, who's like, time to get in their heads and do some trash talk. Which she fails miserably at. Because all of them are successfully trash-talking her and getting into her head. After all she is Rapunzel's lady-in-waiting. Yeah. I don't have much else to add to that. As usual, Rapunzel continues to be really, really good at cutting immediately through everything and just reaching out to people. It's arguably one of her biggest superpowers. This was even true back in the movie, if you remember, the original movie. Like, she goes into this bar with a bunch of thugs and grim people, and she just kind of is cool and reaches out to them. It was mentioned in chat before I hit start that Rapunzel has a huge luck stat, which I agree with, but I think she also has a very, very high charisma stat. Or, if we're using a proper stat, it would be more like a really, really high empathy stat. She's the kind of person who just kind of cares. And she manages to reach out to people by sheer virtue of that caring. I've also had a theory for a while now, ever since we saw that opening movie, the episode 0, that she's actually invincible. Oh, I know. It's her hair that it's invincible. But no, I think that she's got some invincibility too. At the very least, she probably has more durable than a normal person would. Food for thought. We'll come back to that if it ever comes up. It's just something that's been percolating in the back of my mind there. So she fails at trash talking. God, that's such a good thing. Yeah, plot armor, except actually good. I hate plot armor so much. So there's some what's really embarrassing is you can absolutely tell that they're trying to have Cassandra and Rapunzel kind of be, shoved together, smooch. Considering that this entire scene is written as if it's a mother embarrassing her teenage daughter. No, seriously, reframe it a little bit. Make Cassandra the kid at camp with all her friends, and make Rapunzel the mother, and it's 1-to-1. This is 1-to-1 prototypical, mom energy thing. It is. I'm sorry. I didn't write the episode, they did. So, I'm kind of weirded out that this is the direction they decided to go with this. Seriously, they even do the really embarrassing things like, oh, Prite, you insist on no hugging. Good luck, and pats her on the head. Like, come on. Hello, Evo. Wait, since you're a friend, that means you're saying hello to yourself! Then we have an interesting tidbit. So let me tell you a little thing. Usually for animation, the people recording the lines are not physically present to the other people when they're doing it. That's normal, and for a lot of reasons, obviously. It is, in fact, an extreme rarity that two people get the benefit of being in the same room at the same time to record their lines off of each other. I actually mentioned that in Toy Story. It was something they insisted with regards to Woody and Buzz's actors, who I can't think of their names right now. So I bring all that up. Okay, cool. Mother's no space. Oh, God. I bring all that up because there's a line there's actually 2 lines, in this episode that made me realize that there's that these characters are probably not doing that. They're probably in different rooms at different times, recording different lines with different direction. Because there's this bit where Eugene says Cassandra is doing such and such, and then the other line immediately rejoinders, like responding to him. She says, yes, Cassandra is out there doing this thing. And that struck me so hard because I realized that I myself have been screwing up my own pronunciation of Cassandra's name frequently because they're using both. Now, this could be a deliberate thing. I myself have gone out of my way to use different pronunciations in some of my works to indicate, like, dialect, right? I'll use a perfect example. In the FF9 theater, the woman who played Freya, which is Ryo Kami, I frequently asked her to go ahead and say lines just a little bit different, like saying Brane instead of Bran, in order to try and indicate that kind of a dialect thing. But I don't think that's what's happening here. I think just some director somewhere hasn't really codified the pronunciation guide yet for a lot of the actors. And so, because so much of this is recorded in bulk, like, that they get in the booth and they record a few episodes worth of dialogue per day, right? They probably haven't actually caught these kind of little things that are falling through the cracks yet. So just food for thought. No shaming here. It's just something that caught my attention. That voice acting and voice directing is a big thing for me. So then Eugene ruins everything, as is his wont. Why is Eugene in this show? Why is he in this show? So then we see the pendulums, and we learn that even Goofy is participating. Now, nobody's going to get that reference. So Rapunzel just kind of wins effortlessly. Just Tattoos even adds her name to his arm. Okay. We also get some other names as we're doing the lineup there. We've got Skull Kicker, we already met him. Arg McHurg, one of my personal favorites. Torque Bone Snap, that sounds amusing. Mel, my personal favorite. And of course, Bulk Drummond. Naturally, Cassandra is doing her thing really well, and Rapunzel is just as well. And this is what I really noted down in my notes. Is she just straight up invincible, or has increased durability? Is that just a thing that's going on? So then Eugene is moved again, and then again. At this point, just take his freaking horn away from him, please. Oh God, does everything need a Jar Jar? Do we need to have a Jar Jar and everything? So Cassandra is pushed even further by Eugene to actually start straight up cheating. Okay. Meanwhile, Eugene's being a dick, as is his wont, and we see a brief gag about scalpers. Isn't it funny that there are human beings that are scum who deserve to die and go rot in hell because they try and sap what little bit of joy there is out of the world to prey on the desperate and the ignorant in order to try and rip money out of them for actually producing nothing to any kind of thing with regards to society or the universe or anything? Isn't it so great how those people exist? I hope they all die screaming. So, moving on. Cassandra tries to say something to Rapunzel, is interrupted twice in the process of doing so. And then, why do they have a scoreboard? I'm sorry, I know I'm thinking too much about a kid's cartoon, but if you thought that I was going to be thinking less about a kid's cartoon, then you have no idea who I am. So hi, my name's the Lore Runner. It's my job to analyze things for a living. Why do they have a scoreboard? They even show throughout the montage of the tournament that Rapunzel's name is slowly going up the scoreboard. But then at the very end, it's all determined by a King of the Hill tournament, which everyone's involved with. Why? Why have a ranking if it's all determined by just the person at the end? Now, hang on, because it's me, I actually can give an answer to this very question. So what they could do is they could establish points before the big King of the Hill thing. Then the big King of the Hill thing, which is the final melee, which is also arguably the most difficult of all the things, is the thing that determines the winner, but the points board determines everyone else, because there usually is a second place, third place, fourth place, etc., which usually have some kind of monetary prize attached, as well as some lesser, but still extant kind of prestige and glory and that kind of a thing. So that would actually make sense. Nothing said about that in the episode, of course, because why would it? We're here to just watch Eugene be a dick. Why is Eugene in the show? Why is he in the show? God damn it. Why does Rapunzel not wear shoes? Did I miss something from the movie? Like, it's been like 5 years since I've watched the movie, so I legitimately don't remember. Was there something where she just refuses shoes? Like, she's rich, and she's the princess, and she's been here for a few months. At this point, she could just have gotten shoes if she wanted to, but she deliberately chooses not to. First of all, she's got to have insane calluses at this point, unless she's got the durability thing going for her. But second of all, why? She's quirky. Yeah, that's cool. Have you ever walked around barefoot for long periods of time? That starts to hurt after a while. You start to have issues. I'm just saying. Shoes are a defense thing, you know. They're not just a fashion statement. It's like clothing. Sure, clothing could look good, but it's also there to actually help you. Again, I'm telling you, she's durable. I'm calling it right now. She's got some durability thing. I'm just saying. Really good animation on the fight sequence between Cassandra and Rapunzel. No joke. I was actually really impressed. They pull a lot of tricks here, a lot of camera movement. Camera movement's especially hard in this kind of 2D animation. In 3D animation, camera movement is easier. I say that in quote unquotes because obviously there's still thought and effort and direction that has to go into it. But the point is, if you have already rendered a scene, moving the camera doesn't do anything because the scene already exists. But in 2D animation, that means you have to then draw that part of the scene and then that part of the scene and that part. You have to draw it as it's going over, right? which is a whole lot more extra work and effort than it is just to move the camera up. That's also true for live action. So that's awesome. I don't have anything else to add to that. There's also this bit where Cassandra tries to say something to Rapunzel and is interrupted twice. And then we have the big speech. Rapunzel's weirded out because she says we're supposed to be friends, and she's confused by why her friend is attacking her so violently. And she says, a friend wouldn't be so oblivious, Rapunzel. You have no idea what this contest means to me. You're a princess. You don't have anything to prove. To you, this was just a fun way to blow off a Saturday. But to me, it was a chance to show everyone that I am more than just your lady-in-waiting. And just when I thought I might even get the slightest bit of respect... And she can't even finish her sentence. For the first time, we've actually gotten some characterization for Cassandra. It's obviously been in the whole episode, but this speech right here is more than just one-note, ha-ha, cartoony antics. This is actual characterization. I will go so far as to say this is the first characterization the entire show has had, to be quite honest. And it's good. It's interesting, it's engaging, it's dynamic, it implies quite a bit. There's layers going on here. This is good stuff. It also doesn't conclude itself, even though it could have. This could have been... Well, I'll talk about that in a minute. But she doesn't give out everything here. It's just she's so obviously pissed about this situation. And we don't even 100% know why. And I hope we will find out why at some point in the future. We'll understand where this is coming from. I know what you're going to say. Well, you just said it's why. No. Yeah, she doesn't get Petter. The conflict is paused. Which is funny because that's literally what happens. Wrecker Boy actually shows up and interrupts the big scene to just waste some time for a minute. And then get thrown off. And naturally, I don't know about you all. I think we should give the killing blow to that butterfly. All in favor? However, Cassandra stepped 1 foot partially out and therefore technically lost. That irritated me. Yes, I know why they did that. They did that so Rapunzel could then give the trophy to her. But I'm sorry. What I would have written, if I was writing this episode, is I would have changed it very slightly. Cassandra would have looked down, see that her foot's outside, sighs, and then she looks up at Rapunzel, who's already outside. While Cassandra was fighting Big Boy, Rapunzel, who has now processed how big of a deal this is to Cassandra, just walks out. And... on the audio side of things, I would have put a quiet little ding in the background during the fight with Big Guy. Nothing big, nothing demonstrable, just a little ding for anybody who's paying attention. And that's when Rapunzel actually left the ring. So then she looks down, she sighs, but no, she is the last one to leave the ring. She wins. No, technically, Rapunzel has demonstrated how much she understands the situation. Their friendship has gotten stronger. Thumbs up all around. In fact, I actually thought that's what the episode was doing until I found out that Rapunzel's just been standing there watching her beat up the big guy and do nothing. That's not as good. I still like this episode, don't mistake me. I know I've been coming down on it a little bit. This character moment is great, and there's some good moments, but I just feel like it's right there from doing a whole lot more, because that irritates me. And Eugene shouldn't even be in the episode. I'm sorry, if you ejected him from the episode entirely, the episode would become 100% better. He only has one point of relevance to the entire episode, and that's when he informs Rapunzel that she can get involved. And anyone else could have done that. Some random NPC she could have just gone up in the crowds and been like, by herself, and be like, oh, it's a shame I can't compete. And some rando dude who's, maybe it's Shorty, I don't know. Just someone's just like, what do you mean you need to compete? Oh, I need an invite. No, you don't. Oh, okay. Woo! And then there you go. Eugene was completely unnecessary for this episode, and I hate to keep coming down on him, but I kind of hate his guts. He's irritating. He drags the quality of the episode down. Yeah, you know what? Use Hookfoot. That would have been great. That would have worked for me. I would have been down. I'm going to be honest with you, later. I barely remember him from the movie. Like, I remember him positively from the movie, but I don't remember him that much. I remember him really positively from the game. Weirdly enough, I remember that better. Maybe it's just because it's more recent. But yeah, when we played through Kingdom Hearts 3, that was more recent, wasn't it? Hang on. Let me look up my own Kingdom Hearts 3 VOD for just a second. It was more recent. Okay. Gotta say, pretty sure I watched Tangled before I played Kingdom Hearts 3. I could be wrong about the exact time in there. Anyways. He was pretty decent there. I liked Eugene in Kingdom Hearts 3. Actually, for those of you who haven't seen my Kingdom Hearts 3 Evolved, I want to talk about that very, very briefly, because I made a joke in the first episode. I want to expand upon that briefly, just because it's on my mind. I don't want to forget about it. So, both Frozen and Tangled are in Kingdom Hearts 3. One of those worlds is fun, interesting, engaging, follows through on the events of the movie, happens after the events of the movie, and dovetails neatly so that the events of the game are a part of the events of what's happening after the movie. In other words, it uses the Tangled setting as part of the Kingdom Hearts plot, which is what all of the good Disney worlds have been doing in the entire Kingdom Hearts series. Frozen does the exact opposite. Frozen is just a repeat, a lazy, boring, light version, retread repeat of the movie Frozen. And that's it. And it sucks. And that's ignoring the fact that the boss fight isn't particularly engaging, and the dungeon's the worst dungeon in the entire game. So it sucks on the gameplay axis, too. Yeah, Sora's literally just in the background during the Let It Go song. Just kind of like, yeah, it's a good song. And it's like, what are you doing? And I wanted to talk about that briefly, because it's indicative of a lot of things. But the biggest part by far, because I know this, because I do my research and I do my homework, the reason Frozen sucked in Kingdom Hearts 3 was because when they reached out to the team, when the developers of the game reached out to the creators of the film said, you can't do anything, you can't change anything, you can't show anything. And they were very, very strict and tight about what they would allow and where and how, which is why it's just a retread of the damn film. A bad, boring retread of the film, just like every other bad, boring Disney film is in the Kingdom Hearts series. This is a running trend going all the way back to Kingdom Hearts 1. Guess what the creators of Tangled were like? Dude, you're going to put us in Kingdom Hearts? That's awesome. Why don't we set it after the events of the film so that, like, it's already happened and she's already lost her hair, but, like, we're going to go ahead and, like, move forward. Like, okay, so what kind of villain were you thinking for it? How about we put the Reaper guy, whose big motif is flowers? Oh, that's perfect. So we'll go ahead and put the big Reaper guy there, right? And we'll go ahead and have the flower motif kind of tie into what's going on with Corona at the time. And we'll say that Eugene's trying to find his new place in this world, and that ties into Sora, who's trying to figure out his place in this world. And all of this is connected to the concept of identity, which is a major theme of Kingdom Hearts 3. And they frickin' worked with them on it, and Tangled is awesome in Kingdom Hearts 3. It says a lot about the difference in the mentality of the creators. And that's the biggest reason why I wanted to bring that up here. So I've known all this stuff forever ago. Was Kingdom Hearts 3 before this series? That's a good question. Hang on. Let me actually look that up. Because this would have been in production in 2018 and 2017. So, one moment. Need to look up some dates here. Give me a second. Here we go. So it looks like the show would have been in production basically during Kingdom Hearts 3's launch. That's a damn shame, because that would have been the perfect time to get Cassandra in the game. Because they knew Cassandra existed. They were working on the show. The show went live March of 2017, which means they were working on the show months before that, which means the ranges fit, right? In other words, they knew about Cassandra and could have been working Cassandra into the game if they wanted to help cross-promote. Now, I'm challenging myself here, because I don't remember if Cassandra was in the game. Let me look that up really quick here. Because there's a pretty good Kingdom Hearts wiki. I doubt she was too. And I am correct. That's a damn shame. Yeah, they could have had Varian, but they didn't. They do have Maximus. I remember that. They have Maximus. They obviously have Rapunzel, and they have Eugene. And that's basically it. Oh man, an alchemical Keyblade? That just sounds cool. I just had a thought. What do you want to bet that whatever asshole in the office was sabotaging Tangled the show pretty much put the kibosh, it said no to actually allowing any show-exclusive characters to be in the game. We don't want to confuse people, after all. We just want to reference the movie. Despite my issues, and let's be clear, I absolutely have issues here, this is still a solid episode. I think we're moving up to yellow for this one. We had some good action. We had our first really good character moment. We have some good dynamic between a lot of the characters. Rapunzel's actually very on point, and Eugene has minimal influence. I hate to say that way, but I'm sorry, I just kind of hate him so far. Not because of personal preference, but because every time he shows up, it's for something that just detracts from the episode. And that's been true the entire show so far, and it's really getting aggravating. Please tell me he gets better. I don't want to keep hating this character. And it wouldn't exactly be the first time I've started off hating a character and eventually liked them. That's actually kind of common. What time is it? Let's go ahead and try to get one more episode done. I think we could slot in one more before dinner. So let's go ahead and cover Cassandra versus Eugene.